just won silver place in this month's AAA Hobbies Tamiya Mini 4-Wheel Drive Box Stock Races. Against stellar competition, I prevailed, and Coriano wins another race. Not gold, unfortunately, but silver. So this was a pretty fast car. It was doing fairly well for me, but on the final race, I was a little conservative with my battery power. So my battery power was just a little lower than it should have been, and so I ended up, at the very end, the final lap, I ended up being beaten by another racer, and his name is Derek. He had a really fast car. He was there to win, so he just won the race, yeah. And so cool, so cool. His cars are always fast, so cool. And everybody knows the Korean Mach frame is a really fast car. The only problem is you have to tame that speed. You can't just assume that your car is going to be the fastest car every single time you race with this Korean Mach frame. You have to know how to tone down the speed. Now, a lot of people think that, yeah, box stock is easy, it's a kid's race and stuff like that, but we have adults as well as kids entering these competitions, and it can get into some really passionate racing, everybody. So there were about 30 people racing in box stock this month, maybe more. And yeah, everybody had a car that was well oiled, well put together. Everyone's car was really, really good. It's just that how do you tailor your car for that particular track? That particular track at AAA Hobbies this month. Take a look at it. It's a cool track, and it's a very straightforward track, mind you. It's a speed track. It's got lots of straightaways, it's got lots of twists and turns, and it's got what I call the AAA right turn of death, the very last right turn. Right out of the lane changer, always something that's very tough to beat at AAA Hobbies, and a lot of people end up coursing out in that very spot, including me. So unfortunately, I didn't fare as well with my Tune class car because, yes, I decided to get a little bit greedy and put a little bit more battery power, a little more juice in it than I should have. And unfortunately, this car that was like handily beating other cars for all of those little sub races, at the very end I got greedy because I wanted to win. Not just win. And by wanting to win, I put in way too much battery power. I should have been a little bit more conservative with my battery voltages. So yes, everybody, it's all about battery voltages. It's all about knowing what brakes to use. It's all about, in Tune class, it's all about wheel, tire selection, axle straightening, like how straight your axles are. It's all about braking in the motor properly. It's all about oiling the gears properly, making sure that the gears are broken in too. And all about making sure that the damper settings are proper. Everything has to be aligned properly. You can't just slap things together and hope for the best. You have to carefully consider each and every part around your car, because your car is going to be unique to you. Sure, you can copy somebody else's design and maybe win a few races that way, but only by designing your very own car and custom tailoring it, modifying it to the way you want it to be, that's the name of the game. That's how you can tailor a car to a specific track and tailor it to your racing style, because your racing style might be very different from anyone else's racing style out there. Yeah, so in box stock, we could take a look at this as like a simple class, but it's really not, if you think about it, because you are limited to what's in the box's contents. That's true. And you are limited to the way you build a certain car. You can't start making things like what I did in a couple of my videos, that box stock Mach frame body damper. Like, some races will not allow you to enter a car like that, although there are some races that might let you. So you have to really take a look at how you would build a stock box stock car in a certain way such that everything is as it should be, installed, assembled, everything like that. And you want to make sure that you follow the rules and you don't stray from the rules. So you want to make sure that everything is lubricated, oiled, nothing is changed or modified in any way. So the thing that you can control, everyone, is battery voltage. So you've got alkaline batteries that you're supposed to use in box stock. So what I like to do first when I am testing my cars, I throw the most powerful batteries I can in there. The lightest, most powerful batteries I can put in there. So a light alkaline battery might be the red silver Rayovac batteries. Those are alkaline, and they're pretty darn fast because they're lighter, they're very juiced up powerful, but the most you can get from those is 1.58 volts right out of the package. So keep that in mind. So it's a little less voltage than the blue silver ones, but they are lighter. So depending on the car that you put them in, you can benefit from that 2 grams less of weight. So what I like to do with this is I like to race with the blue-silver, and you can see it through the back there, the blue-silver Rayovacs. They are the high-energy Rayovacs. Now, some people think that racing with these kinds of batteries is like a Cracker Jack box, but you know what? You're supposed to use alkaline batteries, folks. Not every race is going to let you use rechargeables for everything, right? So at AAA, we use alkaline batteries. We follow the original rules as they were. So alkaline batteries, what can you do? You can measure the alkaline batteries, see what voltage you're starting at, throw in the strongest batteries possible, race it on the track. If it courses out, you know what you need to do? Lower the battery voltage. So you can either race the car again and again until you get that lowered battery voltage, or if you have a spare set of batteries that happen to measure at the voltage you want it to be, then you use those. So I was starting off with 1.6 and a little too fast. Things were corkscrewing. So on that final right turn. So then I changed it to 1.58. Still, corkscrew every now and again. 1.56. A little bit better, but it was doing a hop, skip, jump after the lane changer, so I didn't feel confident about that. 1.54. Better. Then I got to 1.51, folks. 1.51 was like the magic number. Somewhere between 1.51, maybe a little more to 1.54. That was the magic number for my alkaline batteries for this. So yeah, I had to make sure that my batteries were at about 1.51 each on average. So in other words, 3 volts plus 151 plus 3.2 volts. No, that's not right. 3.02 volts. I'm just pretending I'm stupid, folks. So, so yeah, I had to make sure that my battery voltage was what it should be. And yeah, and you just work from there. So what you can do is you can always keep the left battery as is and just keep putting a more powerful right battery in when you're ready to change the batteries out. You don't have to necessarily get 2 batteries that are identical voltages. In fact, if the battery voltage that's pointing in a negative direction up is the stronger one, that's all that really matters, because you're going to get additional juice out of that battery that's pointed north in a negative direction. So I kept lowering the voltage to the one that I wanted. I dialed it in so that this would stay on the track, especially after the lane changer and that hard right turn, and 151 was basically it. And that's how I was able to get into the finals. I got into the finals lane 1 with this car. So I just basically took a break, and it was like a load off my mind to get my car right into the finals and just not have to worry about it until the very end. Meanwhile, others are just like scoring extra points, right? Because they're winning all these other little races until they get to round 3. And yeah, that's one way of looking at it. You can always like calculate score-wise how many points you can actually score if you were to just kind of like keep losing the first couple of rounds and just get into the finals on the final round. But we actually have like a new system at AAA that's based on the Liberty Cup system, the point system that is, where the person who finishes in the finals lap 1 gets a slightly higher amount of points than the person who gets in that third final lap. So that kind of balances out the fact that, hey, there could be bias potentially where somebody just stays and races forever and just amasses points but never actually gets a podium spot. So yeah, it's the new point system kind of rewards the person or the people who are winners like earlier on than later on. So yeah, and at the end, you know, I could have been first, but I wasn't, and that's okay because it's all about fun. So yeah, second place, not too shabby. I get a car kit. I get this wonderful pig racer here. I don't have this one. That's why I decided to keep this one. This was the original prize that they're ready to hand out, and I was somewhat happy with this because I was like, you know, I was thinking about this. I don't have that one. I have like almost every other animal racer but that one. So this is pretty cool to me. So yeah, pretty darn cool. So yeah, we race for these kinds of prizes, folks, at AAA Hobbies. We race for car kits, things like that. So yeah. Then tune class. I had a really fast tune class car, folks. I think anyone who saw my car can attest to the fact that it was lightning fast, and it was on par with the fastest cars there. It's just that, unfortunately, I got a little too greedy with the battery voltage, and I coursed out. I coursed out because I had this at a slightly higher. You see what I'm talking about, folks. You start off by putting your most powerful batteries in first, and you test it. And if that doesn't work, you lower the battery voltage little by little until you dial in to the battery voltage that you want. And that's what you should be racing at. And you should also account for racing against other people. So in your tests, in your practice tests, always try to race against other people to see how your car would fare against other racers, because other racers, their cars are going to be hitting the sidewalls, causing vibrations. So you want to make sure that your car can handle vibrations. And that's what is called vibration control, folks. So yeah, just because you've got a car where you dial in the battery voltage to the proper amount, you think that it's going to stay on and you think it's going to win, lo and behold, a bad bump against a sidewall, that, my friends, can cause you to course out. And if your vibration control isn't good on your car, you'll course out, and it doesn't matter how well you've dialed in your car. You need to play test your cars against other competitors when you're practicing. So that's my best tip of the day. Practice against other people. Don't be afraid to practice with other people. That's what it's all about. You're trying to get better at this hobby. So you want to try to practice against real people as much as you can. That's the name of the game. You want to try to simulate real world conditions, just like racing conditions. You can't just race alone and then just start writing all these statistics down and say, oh yeah, my car is going to beat every other car. No, you have to race against other people, even in practice. And that's how you get better. You can get better and better and better by practicing against real people. Now, some of the cool and awesome features of this car. Everybody should know this car by now. It's got, on the very top here, I changed the black stabilizers to these translucent yellow stabilizers. I also, instead of having the rubber pipes, which I really liked, but when it came time to catch the car, sometimes it would like poke into my skin and I wouldn't like that. So I've got the ball stabilizers back on there, even though they look a little kind of kiddish. So yeah, but you know, kiddish is good sometimes. And yeah, I've got side stabilizers that are pretty heavy because on mock frames, you can do better with more weight on the sides. Yeah. And I've got weights in the back, and this is a flippy top. Yep. And I got, whoa, a 3mm brake on the bottom. Pretty darn cool. It's pretty thick. And that really helped on the lane changer. That helped keep it on the track after the lane changer. Only problem was I got a little too greedy, upped the voltage a little bit too much, and no amount of brake would have kept my car in place. But otherwise, this is a pretty fast car. And yeah, I raced against a whole slew of different people who had very fast cars too, and they could verify that this is indeed a very fast car. It just unfortunately couldn't get the job done this month. But oh well, we've got another race coming up next month. Every month we have races at AAA Hobbies. And yeah, it's a pretty awesome atmosphere, everybody. We've got young people, old people, male, female, and yeah, we've got people who are like enthusiasts to the hobby. We've got people who are really, really into the hobby, and they're all there. And you know what? A lot of friendly faces. You can ask anyone there for help and advice. And yeah, if they have time, they'll sit down and really help you, like make your car better. And that's really cool. That's what it's all about. That's what growing this hobby is all about. Trying to get everybody in this collective community to help one another so that we can all become better racers. Yes, I would love it, if the next Japan Cup racer came from the East Coast of the USA. That would be so awesome. Wouldn't it be awesome? Like, and the wonderful thing is, whoever this person might be, you could say, I know that person. They're from where I race. That would be so cool. So cool. Yeah. For a long, long time, we've had a lot of dominant racers out in the West Coast USA, but there's a growing number of us on the East Coast who are just getting better and better every single day, every single race, and it's a wonderful thing, everybody. Because this whole thing, just because we get better, it also means that everybody else is going to up their game too. Now, I'm going to tell you something I learned from the yoga championship that I was in last week. I had a friend that I was coaching, and yeah, he thought that he was going to be a shoo-in for a certain spot, and lo and behold, he did so well in his regionals that I think it scared the bejesus out of all the other competitors, and they all upped their game. So when they came in to the nationals to compete against him, they were doing all sorts of crazy awesome things that I had never seen before, and it was clear to me that when you light a fire under somebody and that person that lit the fire is so good, that's going to make everyone else, all the other competitors, also bring their A game. And that's what it's all about, everybody. Bring your A game every time you race at a race here at AAA Hobbies, at Hobbytown, anywhere you go. Bring your A game. Show them your best. Show them what you're all about. Don't be afraid to be great. That's what it's all about. So yeah, so everybody, if you love this video, please slam the like button, subscribe to my channel, and you'll see more videos just like this one. Until next time, everybody, see you. Bye.